And what is anger? It's an emotion. What is an emotion? It's fuel. What is an emotion like anger? It's rocket fuel. That's why somebody can be angry and just punch through a wall. We already started talking about how when I was working for a lot of the nightclubs in Los Angeles and how it made me feel. I hated being there. And we talked about the fact that I was able to take by choice, by choosing the way that I was thinking throughout my nights working there and ultimately my day, and transmute that energy, those emotions of not wanting to be there, anger, resentment, guilt, shame, things, transmuting that energy, alchemizing that, transforming that into a new form of energy. Talked about the fact that I made a mental decision to substitute those thoughts and emotions consistently with the power, using the power of discipline and focus to stimulate a different emotion and thought process by visualizing myself as an action hero in action movies. And I didn't see the evidence of that in that moment. I had no idea or no clue that something like that was going to actually manifest. It took time. You don't transmute anything overnight necessarily. Sometimes you can. I have certainly been in situations where I needed money, and because I put a certain level of emotion and a certain level of thought and a certain level of visualization, and then also I use the power of letting go, which we'll talk about in the next one, I received money, out of nowhere. And that has happened many times in my life. So I don't want to say that there's a timeline, because the better you get at it, the faster things can come. Because I was in such a lower vibrational state, it required willpower and energy. Like a tree doesn't just all of a sudden it bears fruit. So everything is a process. Some process can't just be sped up. So with the process of transmutation and the power of transmutation, you're not necessarily getting caught up on the end result, okay? That's going to stop you. That's going to make you possibly get mad, right? Things are not happening soon enough. Your goal is to stay disciplined on the actual transformational process. Taking my thoughts, taking my emotions, fusing them together to use them to make something that I do want, that I do envision, come into fruition by how I think about it, how I use my emotion from anger. Anger is a powerful frequency, it's a powerful vibration. If you allow yourself to stay in the lower vibration of that, well, it's powerful, but it's actually hurting you, causing dis-ease and dysfunction and disorder in your body, right? And attracting more of that. But if you use that in an alchemizing way, such as, I'm going to take this anger, choice, intention. So, and also beginning with awareness. I'm first going to allow myself to be aware and identify that I'm angry. And what is anger? It's an emotion. What is an emotion? It's fuel. What is an emotion like anger? Well, it's rocket fuel. That's why somebody can be angry and just punch through a wall. So I can use that and go, okay, I hate my situation right now. That's why I'm feeling this way. But you know what? I'm going to actually change this situation. I'm going to end up in a house in Tahiti, and I'm going to open up a bar, and that bar is going to cater to people. I'm going to help people, and I'm going to become a part of the community. And when I'm in that community, people are going to love me and adore me. And I'm going to find people who I'm going to love, and I'm going to make so much money when I'm working there. And I'm going to be able to help build out houses for people that are poor. And I'm going to really find my tribe. I just made that up. I just took that emotion to show you as an example and flip that into something. Now, how long can I live in that, right? How long can I live in that? How long can I create in that? How long can I be disciplined so that throughout the day I'm going back in? And how long can I take some action steps of Tahiti, learning some of the things that I say that I'm going to do, building out this world. So for me, when I said I'm going to be in action movies, well, not only was I thinking about action movies, constantly flipping the way I felt and transmuting that into the ways that I would be feeling in that future version of myself as an actor making action movies. But I also took the action step, the power of action, to work out every day. I wanted to represent myself as an action hero and be fit. To always take the action step, simple as just writing, power in writing, because you're actually becoming a muse for source. So you can just write without even knowing what you want to write. Sometimes if I couldn't get myself in the right zone, I would just start writing out, I'm an action hero, and then I would just start letting the words come out. As you're doing that, you are allowing your brain and your body to get locked in. That's another tool actually that you can use. With the power of transmutation, I was able to not only transform my current state and create a better state, but I also needed something to keep me in the zone, which is a little bit of what we were just talking about in regards to the writing. And it's the power of imagination.